Yeah, I'm sitting in this beautiful nature context and really just enjoying
NRK Klassisk.
the blinking of the small waves on the ocean and I'm trying to find some nice music, but this classical piece that just started is kind of a little too much. It doesn't match the aesthetics of the scenery. I don't think. Yeah, and I have my Kindle with me and cooking gear over there, food over there, and I spend the night in my hammock, and I'm gonna stay here tomorrow until tomorrow, I think, or maybe Monday. Not sure yet. I did see that it's no bus connection tomorrow or today, but I think I have enough food to last for today and tomorrow. I think also I have enough water. So that's my context right now, and it's a blessing that I was able to pull myself out of the comfort of my apartment and with all the walls and the roof and I guess the lack of spaciousness in my environment, in the apartment. But here, it's not only a vast spaciousness, both horizontally and vertically. I'm gonna turn off this music, starting to annoy me. It's a seagull. Yeah, where was I? Talking about the confinement of being in a apartment and not outside. Hey, seagull. It's curious, probably looking for something to eat. They usually do that. They can eat anything almost, those kind of birds, seagulls. Yeah, so it's really just really enjoying this experience. Mm. And I'm happy that I pulled my ass out of my comfort. And saying comfort, I'm kind of like, yeah, is it comfort that I pull myself out of? because this is also this is more comfortable, I think, especially for my nervous system. It's kind of getting into nature. Thinking of like how we, I guess adaptation comes to mind, how we can so easily adapt to our environments, and but also not like if we adapt to a certain environment, we tend to forget kind of water we're swimming in sometimes, because we get used to things and form habits out of that informs our experience. Making patterns in our unconsciousness that we can be governed by. And I think what's really governing me, I think these days, is the archetypal astrology that brings both expanded worldview, because it's astrology, and but also the archetypal understanding of the deep um, psychological structures in our minds. Maybe it's better to say the brain. Not sure about that distinction, but and how that those patterns or structures plays out in our lives. To take it in a practical sense, like I think I would, yeah, my fascination, interest, and um, love for language is like for all of us. That's what we try to use when we want to connect, and it's so easy to not listen or to misunderstand. So having or lacking a sense of sensitivity towards the words we use when we're trying to understand each other. has been a more and more conscious endeavor, an attempt to come into more clarity about so being able to translate the tone or the word consciously is a very practical, applicable way to get more ease and clarity and understanding in our encounters with the world. And how stressful and how much tension it can create in our being, our nervous systems, when this doesn't happen. Where there's, we might call it mindless, if there's a lack of space and just mindless chattering. It sounds very harsh, but or if there's silence that doesn't impregnate speech, there's just emptiness, like not just flatness and confusion, and not like moving or anticipating nothing, and just it's not being present. It's like what is it? If the silence doesn't impregnate speech, I think it's some kind of stuckness in the relationship. Probably a disconnection in on some level. Either vertically, like not being aligned with different parts of us ourselves, or also some kind of horizontal, like the me world axis also can be stuck. Usually those two stuckness is related, like it's hard to flow in a conversation if I know, or if I'm unconscious of my own stuckness in relating. I'm gonna pause because there's people. Okay, they're not moving. Yeah, it's quite ironic. I felt like I just got stuck in my monologue because there was people going about. Um, so where am I going with sharing all this? mm, yeah, that language that Lawrence Hillman in his books currently just bought his, might be first book, I'm not sure, but alignments is called, how to get in harmony with the universe. It's quite a title, but I haven't just flipped through the forward of that book and I got really excited about this again. But I'm currently reading the book called Planets in Play. And yeah, I remember yesterday there were some people there camping. And we got talking, really nice conversations with strangers, people. And we're really kind of, I felt like we were really connected and very interesting conversations. And at some point I had this urge to talk about astrology and archetypes because he said, like, or we're talking about children and upbringing and development, stuff like that. He had a daughter and a friend and his daughter camping. And he started talking about how board games is kind of, not computer games, but the old school board games is coming kind of into, starting to be trendy again in fashion. And also, especially Dungeons and Dragons, the role play um, kind of universe. And of course, then that invoked my very limited but excited view about how useful developmentally for us humans is to play with certain characters, like and have that kind of curious investigative wonder, that kind of enactment of different perspectives, or to participate with playing with perspectives. The enactment in that I have no experience with that specific kind of role play board game, Dungeons and Dragons thing. But I think I picked up some of like it I think it's quite similar to what Verveke and talks about in context of cognitive science, 4E cognitive science, and especially relevance realization. And the notion of bleed, like maybe when you're playing or enacting a certain kind of role, like being a magician or a mother or whatever your role is. And playing with these characters can afford the developmental growth into not growing into but disclosing the moreness of the self or you. So you can realize that you're more than just the I, and I think that's the possibility of a very real possibility to use language as a vehicle to mm, to to disclose more of reality. Um, and maybe like get out of our mm, walls and roofs that we keep in our minds, and not being stuck by propositional tyranny that we, or especially our left hemisphere, can very quickly build and where we don't realize that we have possibilities to see more through different kind of lenses. And when we do that exercise of like looking at where we're looking from and through, we can can get some insights into the vastness of the possibilities in our lives, and see things in another way and how they shine forth and moving towards us from our present and the exercise of being there right now, right here.